Okay, hello guys. Welcome to your very first class, uh, organized by Girls into Tech. Right? Before I continue, I would like to just ask questions if at all you guys can hear me properly. Yeah. So let me just drop an announcement on the other communities that we have, so that a lot of people can actually join the class. Okay. Okay, so welcome everyone. Just like I said before, I was just basically trying to see how I can like drop some reminders to other communities so that people can actually get to join, join the session. Yeah, so it's really exciting to have you guys here. This is going to be your very first class for Girls into Tech. All right, you're going to be learning how to build. You're going to be introduced to no code development, which is uh, a term or a trend that involves building mobile and web applications without writing a single line of code. Okay, so just like I always do it, I always say hi to everyone, right? So I am someone that is very respectful. So I'm going to be saying hi to lots of people. All right, so okay, if I somehow murder your name, please just forgive me in advance. All right, so hi, Ilisen me. Okay. Henry, good to have you here. Triple Star E, good to have you here. Joy, one of the first students we had in No Code Africa cohort one. All right, good to have you here, Joy. Good to have you here. Ido Alfred, this is our community manager. Good to have you here too. Glory, good to have you here. Alice, good to have you here. Justina, good to have you here. Garba, good to have you here as well. Titus, good to have you here. Manav, good to have you here. Glory Basi, good to have you here. Joy, good to have you here again. Tambari, good to have you here. Amaka Sam TV, okay, good to have you here. Aisha, good to have you here. Valentina, good to have you here. Tord, good to have you here. Peas, good to have you here. Our community manager, good to have you here again. Tambari, again, good to have you here. Pressures, good to have you here. Lowry, good to have you here. Gold Daniel, good to have you here. Rufina, good to have you here. Falola, good to have you here. Mark, good to have you here. All right, thank you very much, Mark, for letting me know that you can hear me at any point in time. If you don't hear me by virtue of maybe a technical problem, just let me know that you can't hear me so that I wouldn't be talking to myself. Yeah, so Sarah, good to have you here. Mark again, good to have you. Fatima, good to have you here. Olainka, good to have you here. Nwaya, good to have you here. Divine, good to have you here. Root, good to have you here. Edidion, good to have you here. Chinwendu, good to have you here. Henry, again, good to have you. Good to have you here. Shadrach, good to have you here. Williams, good to have you here. Tammy Tope, good to have you here. We have lots of people here. Good to have you here. Ayumi Kun, Violet, Excel Brooks TV, Royal, Peter, Bright, Amarachi, Yunus, Brian, Tams Graphics, Manav. Uh, this one is a Facebook user. Okay, so some people are joining from Facebook. Good to have you here too. All right, so we've spent 5 minutes so far greeting, and exchanging pleasantries. So we're going to start the class like right now, like really fast. Okay, so let me just drop again to other communities. Yeah, just one moment. Let me try to drop it on the announcement side. Okay, just one moment, guys. I want to just drop the information other places so we can have more people joining. All right, so let me see. Okay. Okay, so before we proceed, all right, I hope you guys are doing really fine, right? Good to have you here, Boko, right? Remy, good to have you here. I hope you guys are doing fine and you're enjoying your day. Happy New Year to everyone. Yeah, I know it's almost half of the month, and I'm wishing you a happy New Year, happy New Month as well. It's really good. Okay, so I will introduce myself really quick. So my name is David Orok, and the founder of No Code Africa, and I'm also the founder of Space. And I'm a second year master's student. Studying technological entrepreneurship at Tinopolis University, Russia. And I'm a very big fan of business and technology and entrepreneurship, right? And so I'm also a very big fan of building minimum viable products without having to spend so much money. And that's what brought me into learning how to build mobile apps and web apps without writing codes. And currently I'm also a graduate teaching assistant at Innopolis University, Russia, where I'm schooling. And I'm also an instructor on Udemy, where I teach, right? I have paid courses there. So it's really good to have everyone here, and it's going to be super exciting to let you into this secret of mine. Well, it's not really a secret. I've been teaching people for a long time, and this is like one of the opportunities that you can actually get to learn. All right, so yeah, this is one of the opportunities that you can actually get to learn, and I really want you to learn. Yeah, so okay. I'm not distracted, guys. I'm just trying to see how I can get more people to join. Okay. Okay. One more. Just one minute. I just want to make sure that I'm dropping all these informations in the communities that we have so that more people can benefit from this. Yeah. I believe that you would want more people to benefit from it. And I think one of the things that you could do to help is try to send the links to someone else that would benefit massively from this particular class. This is like the day one of the class, and then we can have like lots of people who are super excited and super interested in learning something like this. Okay, so you can share it with them. You can share it with them, share it on your WhatsApp status, get more people to actually participate in this class. It is going to be one of the best things that you have done for them, because um, so for me, right, I have benefited so much from being exposed to how to build mobile applications without writing a single line of code. And I really want to keep passing this information to as many persons as possible, because it has changed my life, and I believe it can change anyone else's life. All right. Yeah, like it has changed my life, and I really, really wanted to also change a lot of people's life. I'm currently someone who freelances on Upwork as a no-code developer. All right. And I believe that we have students here, like we have people who are students. Maybe you are like a recent graduate too, maybe, right? And this is like an opportunity for you to learn a skill that will help you have something that you can bring to the table. All right. Yeah, you can bring it to the table so that someone can hire you for it. All right. And then if I told you're an entrepreneur like myself, you have like these beautiful ideas, and you've been thinking about how you can turn these ideas into minimum viable product, either a mobile application or a web application, right? So this is like one of the best opportunities that you will have to learn this thing for absolute free. Okay, so yeah, I can see more people that have joined, and I will extend pleasantries again later, but now we're gonna have to start. Okay, so what is no code development all about? Now, if at all you have you've been interested in tech before, like you've been interested in how to, build websites, right? You have a particular friend who is always on a system and he's always writing codes to build mobile applications or web applications, and you feel you don't have, or maybe you just don't want to go through the rigorous process of having to learn how to program, how to code to build applications, but you just really want to join them. You want to really join them in making, this money, because they make a lot of money from building mobile applications for their clients, and they get like so much of satisfaction from this satisfaction comes. Oh, sorry about that. I had a glitch in network. Yeah, I believe you guys can hear me. Please just let me know that you can hear me, because I just yeah. Please just let me know whether you can hear me. Yeah, just let me know that you can hear me before I proceed. Yeah. So please drop it on the comment section just so that I can know that you can hear me. I discovered that I had issues with the network briefly. Okay, good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bami Deli. Thank you very much. Thank you, Umordia. Thank you very much, Marachuku, as well. Thank you, everyone who made me understand that they can hear me. All right, so straight to the point. No code development, like I was trying to describe earlier, involves building mobile applications. All right, and web applications without having to write a single line of code. Now, there are lots of technologies. There are lots of technologies that allows you to do this, and that's going to bring me to sharing my screen. So I will just go ahead and share my screen like right now. I'm sharing my entire screen, and so you can see my screen. All right, so this is my screen. I hope you guys can see my screen. So let's start with the very first technology. So there's adalo.com, all right? So adalo.com is a platform. Let me just type all of them at once. So we have flutterflow.io, we have bubble.io.com, we have Framer, we have framer.io. I wouldn't be mentioning all of them. I would just there's BuildShip, yeah. So, but I think there's BuildShip, BuildShip.io. Okay, so now these are the ones that I'm going to like introduce you to. All right, so Framer. I think they changed their URL. Framer. Let's do like this. Framer. Framer.com. Okay, let's go for framer.com, not io. All right. So we have a dollar. This is the very first one that I was introduced to in a master's program that I'm doing here in Russia, right? So Adalo is a platform that allows you to build mobile applications without writing a single line of code, right? This is one of the first technologies that I was exposed to. And with Adalo, you can create completely custom applications. You can manage your business data inside Adalo or use another data source. You can quickly publish your app to the App Store and Play Store, or even via the web using custom domain. You can I'm looking at these products is to check their, so you should also check this out. Okay, I think I lost it again. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Hello. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Oh my goodness. I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I think I have like really bad issues with my with my network. Okay. Someone is saying Mark. Mark. Mark is saying village people don't reach here. No, no, no. Mark, I believe so. I believe so. I want to believe that with you too. All right, but let's not take it too serious, okay? Um, all right. Really good to have you guys back. I believe that it wouldn't happen again, right? I really just hope that it doesn't happen again. All right. Really sorry about that glitch. Like super sorry about that glitch. All right. So thank you very much for sticking around. All right. Let's try to see how we can push this up really quick. I'm so sorry about that. Um, let's go ahead and I will present my screen right now. Um, I'll present my screen again right now. Yeah. Okay. So this is us. We're back. Okay. So now what I was explaining before was the fact that when you're trying to, when you're trying to decide on which of the no code instruments you want to pick, you have to look at the product itself and then look at the pricing, right? So these are the two things that I want you to look at. All right. And then the next instrument that we're going to check out, it's called Bubble. Bubble is one of the oldest no code instruments. All right. So they've had like, a good number of users. They've made a lot of money too. They've raised a lot of money, and it's one of the oldest technologies, right? So you can like check them out, and then you can also check out the pricing here. So those are like the two things that I always like to check out when I'm looking at a particular no code instrument. So if at all you want to compare it now, you see something like you see the pricing here, right? And then you also see the pricing here. So you can decide on which one you want to go for. Then we have one of the newest so far in town, and that happens to be Framer. All right. So Framer allows you to build web application without writing code. It's one of the best, right, for web applications, right? So but what we're going to be learning today, is FlutterFlow. All right. So FlutterFlow allows you to build application faster than ever, and it is one of the best instruments, the one I recommend highly, right? Apart from the fact that I'm a FlutterFlow ambassador. Yeah, so I have been using FlutterFlow for more than a year now, and I'm super excited about the technology. And actually, recently, FlutterFlow raised money. And that's like, big, super big news actually, because with the fact that they have raised money, just expect like them to build magic. So they've already built magic. So I'm wondering what is gonna be better than magic, be better than what they have done so far. All right. So with FlutterFlow, you can build differently. You don't have to like write codes. All right. You just have to use the visual builder, the widgets on FlutterFlow, and then build your application. They have you can connect your data, integrate logic and connections, build responsive application, customize just everything, right? And then these are like some of the products that have been built with with FlutterFlow, and these are the demos. You can check out their site and then also just check it out. All right. So this is the one we're going to focus on, because first of all, one of the things that I like about FlutterFlow is that it allows you to, if at all you have like developer skills already, that means if at all you know how to write codes, and by codes I mean, let's say you know how to write Flutter, right? So Flutter is a framework that allows you to build mobile applications, web applications for the internet, right? Let's say you want to build a mobile application that is going to be cross-platform. That means Android and iOS. You can build it with Flutter via coding, right? So the FlutterFlow application itself is built on the Flutter framework, and it runs on the Go programming language. So it just makes so much sense. And they don't just allow you to build applications on their platform, they also allow you to do what? Download your codes, all right? So you can generate clean code, you can even download the codes, and then even push it to GitHub if at all you're a developer, all right? So we're gonna see all of that as we keep going into our practice, okay? So now let's jump right into the application. But before I continue, I would like to say that if you don't have an account, you just click here to start for free, or even have an account, just go ahead and sign here. Let me just stop sharing briefly just to see whether we still have a good number of people here. All right, so we still have a good number of people here. Someone is asking, is it free? What are you asking, Fatima? What are you asking? Are you asking if FlutterFlow is free? FlutterFlow has free plans. Every single of the no-code instruments, right? Adalo, Bubble, FlutterFlow, Frame, they all have free plans. So, but of course, if you want to use some other premium features, you have to subscribe to premium accounts. Okay, so yeah, Jay Bry, thank you very much. He said, welcome from the short break. Yeah, it was really a short break. Thank you very much. All right, so someone is asking, can we use an Android for this? Okay, so no, you can use an Android device to build with this, at least not yet, but you can use an iPad to build with FlutterFlow. Yeah. So someone is also asking, is the class recorded? Yeah, the class is recorded. It will be available here on YouTube. But I would like you to stay on board so that you can learn as much as you can and ask questions where necessary. Okay. So what else? Can FlutterFlow be used to build websites too? Yes, FlutterFlow can be used to build web applications, mobile applications as well. Okay, so I will just be looking at the questions and try to answer them. Then from there, we will get back to doing what we need to do here, because I just want to introduce you to no-code development, which I have already talked about, but now I want to give you like a practical introduction to no-code development so you can see firsthand how it works. Now, with that, you will, get to understand that, oh yeah, this thing is as powerful as I have always heard, or is as powerful as David is saying it is. Okay, so I just want you to sit tight. Okay, so someone is asking what FlutterFlow. I just talked about FlutterFlow not long ago. FlutterFlow is one of the no-code instruments that you get to, use in building mobile and web applications without writing codes. Okay, so you can ask any questions. There are no stupid questions. So just ask me any questions at all. In fact, this class is going to be mostly about questions. I will talk about, I will try to see how I can just, talk about the application and how to use it. And then we will try to, build something really simple. All right. So let me see. Do we have other questions? Okay, so someone is asking, the apps, would it run like the normal apps on Play Store? Yes, absolutely. So the applications will run normally just the way it is like on Play Store, right? So you can actually push your applications to Play Store, and App Store, and it will work normally. Okay. All right. So if you have other questions, just drop them, and I will come back to attend to them. Meanwhile, do not forget to share this on your WhatsApp status, on your communities, just to get more people to learn this thing. All right. So I will come back to that and ask you to share. All right. Okay. Let me share my screen again, and then we can go ahead and push it to the next level. Okay. So let's go here. Now, if at all you're already here and you have an account, so you click here to sign in, or you click here to start for free. When you sign in, you will see you're going to have a dashboard. Well, for you, you might not have lots of applications. I've built a couple of applications, right? So I have a lot of things on my dashboard, but this is how we're going to start. After you've signed in, you will see your dashboard. This is how your dashboard will look like. And the first thing you need to do is click on create new. All right. So we're going to click to create new. And then for every single thing that you want to do, you have to give that thing a name, right? You're going to have to give that thing a name. You're going to have to, describe it in a particular way. So we want to build an application now. So I will call the application Authentico. Authentico. Okay, so that's the application, right? Because we're going to be talking about how to create a simple application such that your user can log into the application. All right. If the time permits, we can actually look at CRUD, or if we can look at CRUD, we can just see at least some elements of CRUD. By CRUD, I mean CRUD is an acronym for create, read, update, and delete, right? One of the first things that you need to learn while trying to build a mobile application or a web application using FlutterFlow with no code development as your superpower. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click create blank after we've given the project a name. And then after that, what we're going to do next is quite simple. So I'm going to click this to hide this. All right, then I will just go ahead and click this. So here is the next thing that you see. What you just need to do is go ahead and set up your Firebase. Well, it is not always compulsory to go ahead and set up your Firebase just immediately. You can actually skip it, all right, and then start designing it first, right? But we can just do this immediately. But before we do that, I want to tell you what Firebase is, all right? So this is Firebase, all right? Firebase is more like the storage for your application. Firebase is not just a storage. Firebase is going to be like a third-party instrument that will allow you to authenticate your application, your users into your application. So Firebase is going to handle the authentication of your users into your application, all right? And Firebase is also going to store the details of the application, the details for your application. Like for instance, let's say you have a mobile application, right? And then you want the user to create an account and log in, right? Firebase is going to take care of that creation of account into your application. And of course, you don't just have to sign up users into your app. You want them to also log in if they already have like a detail. All right. So that brings us to the part that has to do with creating an account and logging in. And then apart from that, now let's say your user needs to update their details. Maybe they want to add their face name, they want to add their age, they want to add their profile photo, right? Now Firebase helps you in storing these details. All right, so we will just go ahead and go straight to exploring what Firebase is about, and then we will see how we can create an application called Authentico. And then with that, you will have like a first-hand experience in building an application. In fact, what I want us to do today is at the end of it all, I will show you how to download the codes. I will show you the codes that runs the application itself. Please try to remind me that we have to do this before we end the class. Okay, so here is Firebase. You just need to go to firebase.google.com. You must have had a Gmail account. Okay, so go to firebase.google.com, and then you will be able to see something like this. And then all you just need to do is click to go to console. Let me just confirm. Okay, click to go to console, and it will show you a couple of things here. So you can just go ahead and click here. And okay, so I have reached the product limit for this account. So I have to change it. Firebase.com. Let me try to get another of my Google accounts so I can use it to create a Firebase project. And anyways, throughout this class, we're going to be using the same Firebase project to keep building. All right. So I will go ahead and click on this to go to console, just to see if at all I can, I still have access to building some projects, adding some projects to this. So if I click this, okay, so yeah, well, good luck. I can add one more project here. So for you, you can add about 5, 6 projects. If at all it's the first time you're creating a project with a Firebase. So here I'm just gonna call this Authentico. So we're going to be using these name for a lot of applications. All right. So just bear it in mind when we're building different things throughout our training. We're going to be using this Firebase project. All right. So we won't be creating a new one. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm calling it Authentico. I click on continue. It's asking me to add Google Analytics for my Firebase project. Well, I don't really want to do that now. So I'll just turn it off and then click on create project. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to just do quickly here is we'll wait for, Firebase to completely provision these resources. And then after that, we will be able to have access to Firebase. Now, before we continue, I would like you to just, as a token of appreciation for the free training and for what we're doing here in Girls into Tech, I just wanted to smash the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. I think you just see it on your screen, subscribe. Just click on the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel here because you're going to be having all of your classes here. And then I also want you to like this video. All right, this is going to help give the algorithm the fact that, oh, the video is good, the content is good, and lots of other people will also benefit from it. So please just smash the subscribe button for me and then just go ahead and like it as well. So I will click on continue here, and then it's going to bring me to my Firebase dashboard. So very soon it's going to load up. Yeah, good. So now I have my Firebase dashboard. What am I going to do here? So first of all, we have a lot of things here. If you click on build, all right, if you click on build, you will see authentication, app check, Firestore database, real-time database, extension, storage, hosting functions. This is cloud functions, machine learning, remote configuration, and lots of things here. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to do, the very first thing we're going to do here is come to product overview. Now we need to put something here. So let's go ahead and click on next step. Now this is me. I'm coming back to Firebase, to FlutterFlow. Sorry, I'm mixing it up. So I'm coming back to FlutterFlow here, and I'm going to click on next step. So the next step for adding Firebase into your FlutterFlow project is to add something called the Firebase project ID. Okay. So now that's why I'm coming to project overview and clicking on this gear icon and clicking on project settings. And I will see the product ID here, Authentico, and it has this other extension here. This is what you need to copy. Now we will take it back to FlutterFlow and we will paste it here in the space that says add the product ID. I will click on connect, but we're going to run into an error. Now, I wanted you to see the error. It says here FlutterFlow does not have access to this Firebase account. Please add Firebase at flutterflow.io as an editor to this project. Now, what does that mean? It simply means that this Firebase project, for us to be able to connect it to our FlutterFlow project, we need to have some sort of connection. We need to give permission to FlutterFlow or to Firebase for them to have this smooth relationship, right? So it's very important that you need to go ahead and set this up, all right? So I'm gonna click on users and permission, all right? So users and permission, then I'll click add member, and then I will add Firebase, all right, at flutterflow.io. Then I will click here and say editor, and then I'll click done. That's what they told us to do, remember? They said, let me try it again. I'll just click on connect. And then you see here, they said add Firebase at flutterflow.io as an editor. And that's what we're doing here, okay? So we said Firebase at flutterflow.io. You have to be careful with your spelling. Otherwise, it is not gonna work out. You'll be able to add it, but it's not just gonna work out. So after you've done that, you select the role as editor, and then you click on add member. After you've done this, right, one of the next things you're going to do is go back to FlutterFlow and then click on the connect again. And this time around, it says success, all right? So we are successful. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and click on auto generate config files, click on generate files, all right? And then you have generate files here. Now, since you have generate files, what you're gonna do next is you're gonna just wait until the files have, it said something, unknown error, please contact support at flutterflow.io. Okay, so I think we had an error there. Okay, let me just be sure it's not my network. So let's see. Okay, let me just go ahead and say enable authentication, enable these as well. and then it requires me to put the initial pages. So now we will come back to this for sure. Now, the initial pages are the pages that the user gets to see before they are logged into the application, and then the page that the user gets to see after they've logged into the application. So we need to set these things up. So how do we do that? You click on set, and then it's going to load up very soon. And then what you just need to do is, we can go ahead and look for a template. We're going to be using a template for these particular steps. All right, so I'm going to just use a template. I think I'm going to use this one. Yeah, so I will just click on this to add it as my template. And then I will call this one login, something like this, login and create page. I have done that. Now let's click on the second one, the page that the user gets to see when they are logged into the application. This is going to be more like the part where they get to see their profile in a way, right? So I will try to look for a template. All right, these are templates that have already been created by FlutterFlow. All right, so I'm just going to look for something that looks like a profile image dashboard, something like that. Yeah, so I'm just scrolling down looking for it. All right, okay, just checking out what we have here. I'm trying to find the exact templates to use. Yeah, for this particular class, we're going to just be using templates to just set up some things, right? It's an introduction class. We're not going to be creating a lot of things from scratch yet. You're just going to get to see it, see us using our templates. So let me see. I can still find a template for profile. Let's see, home. Okay, I think this could be, no, it's not still something like that. I just need something simple. Okay, so we should see a dashboard, like a home, a profile, settings, something like that. Why am I not seeing something like that? Okay, just be patient, guys. All right, I'm gonna try to see how we can find this. I'm not seeing it. So we have here user select products, tags. What do we have here? Okay, I'm not seeing what I want. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and pick this one. All right, so I'll just pick this and then I will call it home. All right, so this should be the page that the user gets to see when they're logged into the application. So let me try to click on this again and say generate config files. I don't know what happened there at first, maybe network glitch or something, but it should have like just finished successfully, but it said failed. Okay, so now that's done. So we have generate the configuration file. So we're good now. You have to do what I just did. All right, so we start building. Now this is how your FlutterFlow dashboard looks like. Okay, this is how your FlutterFlow dashboard looks like. And this is where the whole beautiful thing starts. So I'm going to rename this before I continue, right? So applications in FlutterFlow are built using stuff called widgets. Now, widgets are just the same thing like components, okay? So let me just run through some of the things that you need to see here. But I believe you're going to learn with practice. So here we have the pages. This is where you get to see different pages. Applications are made up of pages, right? So page one, page for homepage, page for dashboard, page for about us, page for contact us, and lots of that. So applications are made up of pages, okay? So then we have something called the widget tree. Now, each of the pages have components, stat components. You need to go ahead and look at the widget tree to see how they are stacked. Now, I'm not going to go ahead into details, right? We are just doing an introduction here. I will show you these later on when we are building from scratch different things. I think later on we can actually go ahead and build from scratch the authentication page for our application. So, but I just want to show you that this is where you see how the components that makes up your screen, your page looks like. This is where you see the number of pages that you have. This is where we call Firestore, right? This is the thing that connects your application here in FlutterFlow to Firebase, right? So this is where you create some things called collections so that you can store different details of your application. All right, so this is where we have settings. Settings is where you can actually go ahead and look at your app details, your login, your entry page, your logged in page, and the name of your application, basically. Then what else? So we're just going to go ahead and learn by building. So I'm going to come here and change this to authenticate. Okay, so now this is where you have the widget. This is the area for the different widgets that have been arranged, right? Authenticate. All right, and this is the area where you get to, you know, manipulate these widgets, these components, these elements. Okay, so I just changed it to authenticate. This is a text widget. All right, we will talk about this more in other classes. I want us to take off these particular social logins. Just take it off. I don't want to make it very complex for us. Let me come here too and take off these. I'm just going to take it off quickly. Then we're not going to do forgot password. We just want to learn authentication. Okay, I was thinking that we're going to be able to do authentication and CRUD. Well, I think we're going to have to do this tomorrow. All right, but let's just look at how to do authentication. Now we have this is our design. You click here, it shows you where to, create an account for your user. This is where it goes ahead to, help you log your user in. And we have this password field, and the other one is what? Password create. Okay, it's still called password. So I want us to rename the fields. This is email address. Let me click here to rename it. Email address login. Okay, I just like to be very specific like that. Then password, I will say login. These are the names of the text field, the components, right? Then I'll come over here to this side and say email address create. Okay, just to avoid confusion. Then I'll come here to password create. Okay, so now we have this. Now, how do we go ahead and, okay, now let's come here to home as well. I will delete some things. So I will take off this one, and this one. I will even take off the list view, take off the tab page. Cannot delete the tab view, only tab. Oh, okay, so I will go ahead and just delete. Let me come here to the widget tree to see what is happening. So I have top folders here. I'm just gonna take it off, right? So I have a tab here. I'll just take this off too. Great. So I just want us to have hello days, and then we have this user, right? And let me see what we can do here quickly. So we have Maverick. This is gonna be like the username. So I want us to just change this to email. So let's just say Mr. David rock@gmail.com. Okay, let's just say user. Yeah, let's say user. Okay, user@gmail.com. This is not from the database. This is just a design. Okay, so let's go back to the login screen. Now, for you to go ahead and then help your user create an account. Okay, so what you're gonna do quickly is you're going to go ahead and have something here where you go ahead, like we have a button here that can allow the user to create an account. Okay, so we will click here, and then we have to add an action. Now it's already added here, but I want us to delete it. I'll delete it, come here to login and just delete it again, just so that we can, add it from scratch. So here, you want your user, when the user clicks on get started, after adding the email and password, we just want to do a basic authentication without even checking for errors, okay? Just basic stuff. You're going to have to go ahead and click here, add an action. Add an action is this is how FlutterFlow handles backend. So we're going to add an action, all right? This is where we click to add an action. And then we're going to go to something called backend and database. We go to Firestore, all right? Then, okay, not Firestore. We go to Firebase authentication. Then we go to create account. Then it's going to ask us, what kind of authentication means do you want to use? We want email. And then the email field is going to be what? The email field that Firebase is going to use to authenticate the user is going to be what? Email address create, okay? Because that's for this one. And then the password field is going to be password create. Now we have done that. And then we can go to login and do the same thing. So we add an action, and then we say backend, we go to Firebase authentication, login. And we will say email as the authentication provider. And we will say the email field is going to be email address login. This is why I renamed them. Otherwise, we would have been confused. And then here, I'll go ahead and say password login. You have to be very, very careful. Otherwise, you make mistakes here. Now, before we continue, we have to go back to Firebase and go to build and go to authentication. We're clicking on authentication, and we're going to have to go ahead and get it started. So this is Firebase. I'm clicking on get started. That means I'm trying to say, okay, Firebase, I am here. I want you to handle authentication in my application. And so it not asks me, okay, which of the means do you want your users to use in creating an account or logging into your application? Okay, I want them to use email and password. So I click on that. And then I will say enable, and then I will say save. Now that way I have already, done this setup. The next thing I need to do, there are two things I need to do. Firestore database. So I'll click here to turn on my Firestore database. Otherwise, if at all I continued here, we would have had like a couple of errors. So I click on create database there. All right. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'll pick a location. Okay. So it randomly picks a particular location for me, but I can choose here. Okay. So I will go ahead and say next. It's going to ask me, do you want to start in production mode or you want to start in test mode? Well, I just want us to go live. So I will go ahead and say start in production mode and I click on create. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn on the storage, but that's going to be after it has finished provisioning the Cloud Firestore and sets up the security rules. Then we will come back and then set up. Now this is it. It has set up our Cloud Firestore. This is where we're going to store in details. Now the Firestore database works hand in hand with the storage. Okay. So the Firestore database is where you do the setup, and then the storage where things are really, really stored. So we will click here to get started. We will start in production mode. It's going to be using the same location you use when you were setting up your Firestore database. So we'll click on done. And when this is done, we can go ahead and then continue building our application. So we can just come back here and then look at it. Now we have done this. When the user signs in, they will automatically be taken to the logged in page. And what we need to do next is let's go back to home here. We want the user's email, like the email the user used in logging in or creating an account, to show here. So we want to just say hello, this person's email. So I will come over here. This is where you see the properties of the widgets here. So I've selected the text widget that is going to be carrying the email details. So I will click on this orange icon here beside the text. You see here, orange icon. And I'll go to something called authenticated user. So the user that has been authenticated, these are the details that we have about the user, the email, user ID, display name. It came automatically. Later on, I'll show you how to create something like this from scratch. All right. So we'll click on email. So it'll say hello and the correct person's email address. And then the next thing I need to do quickly is I will add, no, not a component. I will come here to the widget tree, go to the column, and then I'll add a button. This button is going to be for logout. So of course, when your user can create an account, they should be able to log out too, right? And then I will give some padding. We will talk about this padding much later, right? So padding. And then here, I'm going to add an action to this button, which is going to be for logging out. So I'll click on this and click this, click to add an action. And I will go ahead and say backend database and Firebase authentication. You will see the option that says logout. So when your user clicks on this, they will be automatically logged out of their application, and then they will be taken to maybe the login page. Yeah, basically the login page. Now we have a picture here, right? Now I have talked about authentication. So we can do at least one part of CRUD, which is create. All right, create. Now this is where we should upload the image of our user. Yes. Now this is where we should upload the image of our user. Now I'm going to introduce you to something in FlutterFlow called components. And we want a situation whereby when the user logs in, they can click on this thing and it will take them to it to bring up a pop-up on the screen where they can go ahead and see a screen, a small dialog box that tells them to change their profile image. So I will click here. You see the icon that I clicked is the icon here. I click here, then I'll go to component, and then I will look for a particular component that has to do with changing the image, right? So I think we have it closed. This one is going to be easy to find. Yeah, so it's just going to be something we're going to use in updating. All right, so this is it to change photo. I'll click on it, then click on my theme. Then I can just leave it as change photo. And then this is how it looks like. I will go ahead and then go to the widget tree. Before I do that, let me click here and change it to, let's say, 500. Change the height here to 500, right? So it allows me to see the screen properly like this. So change folder, and this is where we're going to click to upload an image. Now this is the uploaded image. Let me take off this and take off this as well. I don't like all of these ones. Just take them off. So I'm going to go ahead and click the row here to add something called circle image. All right, so I'm just adding the circle image here. And I will come over here before we continue. Let's click here. Let's let me do it step by step so it doesn't get to confuse you. So when the user logs in, the user clicks on this avatar. Okay, let's put a default image placeholder there instead of that picture. Let me just search for image placeholder. Okay, and then let me say profile image placeholder. Come on, what is that? Okay, so then I come here to image. I should see an image placeholder. Let me see. For some reason, it's not coming up. Okay, so I can see, let me just type here profile image placeholder and then search. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll down and look for a result. Okay, for some reason, it's not really loading fast. Okay, it's not showing me everything. Okay, good, it is now. So I will click on this one. It shows me a picture here. I'll just right click and say copy image address. And I will come back here. And then in this user avatar, right, I will come here first. Let's do something. I'll change it from assets to network. This is under the image, where is it? The image type, okay? Now, every single widget here has their own properties here. It might sound confusing and look confusing at the beginning, but trust me, when you look at this video again, one more time, while you are practicing, it will stick to your brain. So I'll come here, I change it to network. Now I'm gonna click on these to find the path of the image. So I will come here and say authenticated user, photo URL. Now that's where it's gonna take the picture from, okay? But now we want to add a default image. So I'm gonna add the default image, which is what I copied before. So I just added here. So it's gonna show up like this, okay? Don't worry, you figure this out. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is when the user clicks on this circle image, I want them to bring up something. Let me delete this. I want them to bring up a bottom sheet, all right? It's gonna bring up a bottom sheet. We're gonna say show, and I'm gonna select component and say change photo. Now, let's go back to the component. This is how to click to look at the component that we created. It's called a bottom sheet as well. I will click on this, and then I'll go to the widget tree. I'll click on this. I'll wrap the photo upload container, the main one, with a widget called column. Don't worry, I will explain this much later, not this time, okay? And then I will click on this and give it some padding on the left. I just want to make it nice. We will learn about why I'm doing all of this subsequently. Now I do this. Now let's go back to this now. We want to make the user upload an image. So we'll click here, we'll add an action to these, okay? This class was basically going to be for 1 hour. And so we're going to be ending very soon, okay? So just stay with me. So we're going to click on the upload image here, and then you go to the action here. So this is where you see the properties of the widget, the action. This is where you query and do backend. Okay, so now we just want to add an action. So I'm going to click there. I'm going to search for something called upload. All right, so it says here upload and save media. Then I will come here to upload type and choose Firebase, because we're using Firebase. We want to store it. We're storing things inside Firebase. And then I will come over here and just say show snack bar. So it will show when the file is uploading and it's loading, all right? I will show you all of these things. And then the next thing we want to do is when the user clicks on this, it's going to bring up the gallery of the user. The user will be able to like upload an image. We want that image to show here immediately after the user has finished uploading it, before the save changes. So we will come over here, we'll click on this, and then we will say widget state, and we'll say upload file URL. I wouldn't go into details yet, just to explain what is happening, okay? I will go ahead and explain that much later. Let me copy the image address here. I just want to get you excited about this technology. Then from there, it will increase your enthusiasm to learn. I will paste the default image variable here so that it can show like this. Beautiful. Now, after the user clicks here and uploads an image, it will show here, okay? And then we're gonna click here to save the changes. So now I'm gonna add an action. Let's just delete what was here by default. I'm gonna add an action. The action is gonna be a backend database action. It's gonna be Firestore, and it's gonna be update, okay? Update document. So we're doing one of the CRUDs. So we didn't do create yet, okay? Well, we did create account. Yeah, we did that, but that really doesn't count so much. So, but out of the CRUD, which is create, read, update, and delete, we're doing one now, which is update. We want to update these authenticated users details, one of the fields. So we'll click here and we'll go to authenticated user. We'll pick the reference. All right, the reference is more like their DNA, right? So everybody has a unique DNA. Okay, so we were like picking the DNA of the user, and then we want to now update something in the user. So we click here, we look for that field. Maybe we want to update their limbs, something like that. So we're going to be looking for something called photo URL. And then we will say we don't want it to be a specific value. We want it to come from a variable. And the variable is going to be the widget state, and is going to be uploaded file URL. Now that's it. And then after that, what else? We want to add another action. It's another bottom action. All right, so this is what we want to do. We want to do dismiss. So after the user has finished all of that, we want to dismiss this bottom sheet so it goes down. Okay, now I think it's the moment of truth where we check out how our application has worked on. Now there are some errors here, so we will click here to look at the error. So there says a fire setup Firebase storage. Okay, so we will click on it. You can't run your application without removing all the errors. So I clicked on that. Now I need to deploy the Firebase storage, and I'm deploying that. When it's done, I don't have that error anymore. Now I have some warnings. Then there's a warning here, primary scroll. I just click on that, and then I'll go down and turn this off. Okay. And then the next warning that I have is the Firestore rules not deployed. So I'll click on it, and I'll come down here. Very important. So users, then just say everyone, the read, everyone. So we have here create, read, write. So everyone, let's leave this one. Let's uncheck this and deploy. You get to learn all of this later. I just want you to be very excited and have some first impression about no-code development in real time, not just talking about it. Okay. So the next thing I want us to do now is to run our application. So I want to go ahead and click here. This is where you click to run your application. I will click on test. All right. So I'm going to run the application. We're going to wait for a couple of seconds for it to run, and we will be able to like see what we have built. Okay. Now, let's see. It's going to take a couple of minutes. So it says here 2 to 3 minutes for it to finish. So while that is going on, I will just go ahead and then, stop sharing my screen, and then just look at the questions that we have here. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. So someone did try to respond to this. Yeah. So the session is recorded. Yeah. It's a YouTube video. So it's recorded to be available for you to rewatch it later. Okay. So thank you very much, Christian, for re-emphasizing on that. Yeah. Thank you very much, Tambari, as well. And then, yeah, Chinaya, yes, this particular tutorial is recorded. Okay. All right. So, okay. Okay, yeah. So Chinaya, yeah, I understand. I understand that I was really moving fast, but today is not where you're supposed to like learn so much. Okay. So today is just for you to have some sort of first impression in your brain, all right, about no-code development, how to build applications without writing codes. Today is just for that purpose entirely. It is not for you to really know. I don't expect you to be doing what I'm doing alongside. Like, you don't need to. After now, you can rewatch the video. You need to rewatch the video to get like a second impression. And then in future classes, you're gonna get you're gonna get to understand why I did some of the things that I am doing so far, right? I can explain all of that now, otherwise we're gonna have like a very, very long class. Okay, we will do the authentication again in a slower manner. I just wanted to get you like super excited about no-code development. Okay. Okay, Sarah said I'm also a bit fast. Okay, so with time, you're going to learn a lot very soon. How did you get to the Firebase part? Okay, so Justina, you will have to like rewatch the video again to give an idea of how I got there. So I went to firebase.google.com, and that's how I got to Firebase. Firebase allows you to store information in your application. All right, it allows you to do authentication, cloud function, machine learning, a lot of things. So you get to learn all of that with time. Okay. So okay, Esther I was fast then. Okay. All right. I'm really sorry about that. Okay. I'm just going through the questions. I'm going through the questions now just to be sure. Okay, Bright is saying I was really fast. All right, I will slow down in subsequent classes. This was just like an introduction. I really didn't want you to learn so much. I know that you're going to still rewatch the video and then play it a bit slowly, and then you will get a hang out of it. I'm currently just waiting for the application to finish running. It says error loading for these project. Please check your product issues from all. Okay, so I didn't really get. Okay, so I'm just waiting for this thing to finish loading. I think we ran into some errors. Yeah, I will share my screen again shortly so we can actually look at it together. But meanwhile, let me show you another way to test the application. So I'm sharing my screen again. I'm sharing everything, and then I'm told to actually slow down. Okay, guys. So I was basically trying to beat the 1 hour timeline, but we are gonna stretch a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, so I will run through it again, but before we continue, I ran into some errors here, but I believe it should be fixed in the next rundown. But let me show you another way of deploying your application to the web. Okay, this is something that you should have like learned later, but we can do it right now. So if you come here to the settings, all right, let me do a quick rundown again. So this is the dashboard for FlutterFlow, and here in this part, this is where you see the pages for your application. All right, all of this was more like a template. Okay, we didn't create it from scratch. In subsequent class, we will try to create these from scratch so that you can see how it's done. All right, so we have the text field. This is like the text field, another text field, but this is for password. This is a text itself, a text widget, another text widget. All right, what we have here that is doing all of this is a tab bar, like that allows you to switch in between. Like this is called a tab bar widget, and this button is called a button widget. All right, then we have some containers here, which we will learn how to use later. You won't be able to get these just at the very first time of being introduced to this technology. All right, and so I created two screens. One is the login screen and another one is the home screen. Now the home screen is going to be the screen that the user will see as soon as they log into the application. Before I continue explaining again, so let's go to settings, go to web publishing. We want to publish this application to the web. That means you can run it on your browser, right? Even though it's a mobile application. So I'll turn this off, all right? And then I will change this, or just remove this name. It's called authenticate. This is going to be something we're going to be using for a long time. And then we need to, it says enable web support before publishing. So I need to click on open platform and click on enable web support. That's web linking here. And then I'll come back to web publishing. And then the next thing I'll just do is, let's call these authenticate girls into tech training, something like this. And then we can just go ahead and click on publish. All right. Okay, so I think the application here ran, but it hasn't shown yet. So this is how to, oh, it says this, you have exceeded the quota for subdomains. Wow. Okay, I've exceeded my quota for subdomains. Okay, that's sad. That's really sad. Can we return it back to what it was before? Let's see. Let's just look at our application because I just ran into this error. It shouldn't be like this. But let's just look at the result of the application that we have built so far. This is called the debug mode. Now, the debug mode allows you to look at your application in real time, such that when you do some sort of updates here in the application, you can actually get to see it directly here. All right. So I'm gonna just like wait for these to show up. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but the debug mode always takes a couple of time to show up. Okay, so I will just like stop sharing, and just when it shows again, I will come back to showing you guys the application we built, and then we can both look at it. All right, so let me see some of the question. Dre Simmons, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Alice, no, it's not this is not the session for it. It's an introduction. Yeah, it's an introduction. It's gonna be a bit hard for you to do it alongside. Yeah, it's an introduction. I will try to see how we can, like, make it more practical in the next class, which is tomorrow. Yeah, I will show you all what we've done here all over again, but from scratch, and I will be much slower. Okay. And then, well, if you can do it alongside me, that would be nice. But what I expect you to do is try to, pay attention and get some sort of first impression for this particular class. Like, that's the essence of the class. Okay, so someone is asking, when setting up my Firebase, do I have to untick the Google? You don't need to if you want to use the Google Analytics in your application. I didn't want to just go through the process of setting it up. But yeah, at the beginning stage, you don't really need the Google Analytics, especially when it is test project. Okay? Yeah. Someone is asking, is the premium very expensive? No, it is not. It's one of the cheapest. And actually, since you're in Nigeria, there's a huge discount. Yeah, most people that are from Nigeria, there's a discount for that. Okay. Alice is saying she doesn't understand anything. I just want you to stick around. All right, you will get a whole lot of things from these classes. Okay, you are not going to understand just immediately. This is just to get you excited and happy about it. Okay, so the very first step you just need to do is rewatch this video after it ends, all right, just to get it. And then also I will drop some other tutorials in the Girls into Tech community that you can use in, improving your knowledge of this technology. Okay. Yes, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Yeah, this is one of the ways you say thank you to us. Thank you very much to our community manager for mentioning that all over again. Okay, so Garber said I didn't get a thing. All right, so yes, you're gonna get a lot of things later, right? So just watch out. Now let's look at what we have done. I think it has finished publishing. Let's look at what we've done. So this is it. This is the application that we have built. We just built something really fast in a very short time. Well, it's dark right now because we're using the dark mode, right? So what we need to do just quickly is let's go ahead and say create an account. If we try to log in, let me just reduce this a bit. If we try to log in, it will tell us some things here. The email address is badly formatted. This is like the error message from Firebase. Okay, so we will have to create an account. I want, let's say, okay, so let's say Elon Musk. All right, so Elon, let's just say Elon at gmail.com. All right, and then the password, I just put in a random password, and then I click on create an account, like get started. So it's creating an account now for this user. And then if I come over here, you see it has created an account. You see it has created an account. It says hello Elon at gmail.com. I can click here to log out. It takes me back to this screen. I click on login, and then I add the email Elon at gmail.com. And I'm just going to go ahead and add the password. So if I put a wrong password, it's going to tell me the credentials is incorrect. Okay, this is the password I used. So I just put in the correct password. It's going to be, it's going to log the user in. Correct. Now, if you come here to the authentication, right, and then you load it, you will see that the user's detail has been created in our Firebase project. You see these are the details, the passwords are encrypted, so you wouldn't see that. And then here, we need to just click on this. Let me go ahead and download Elon Musk photo, Elon Musk image. Let's just go to here and get one of his images, something like this. Okay, save image as Elon. Save. No, I need a picture I need something that is gonna be a JPEG. Can I get a JPEG or a PNG? Anyone will work. Okay, so I'm trying to get a photo. Okay, let's see. Let's save image as. Let's say Elon. Okay, save. This is JPEG, so this is good. We'll come back here to our application, and then we'll try to upload image. So we'll click here. It shows this pop-up. This is the pop-up I was talking about. So I'll click here to upload image. All right. Then I'll click on gallery. and then I'll look for Elon. Elon. Let me just look for Elon. I don't know why. Where did it go to? All right, I think it might be above. Okay, I'm just gonna use any picture. I'm gonna use Albert Einstein's picture. Maybe Einstein's, this one. Okay, so I'm using that. Just upload the image. And then since it's uploaded, you see the image here first. It has not uploaded here yet because we have not saved changes. And after that, we save changes. It closes the bottom sheet and it shows the picture here. You see? Perfect, perfect stuff. Okay, so I believe that you have, learned a couple of things from what we have done so far. And you have seen how an application can be built without writing a single line of code. And you've learned how to do authentication. You've learned how to do one of the CRUD, which is update. We will learn create, read, and delete in our subsequent classes. So I will stop sharing now. And oh, I had one more thing that I said I was going to show you guys. And I asked somebody to remind me, but anyways, nobody did. But I would try to just share my screen again briefly to show you something. Now, this is the application that we have built in FlutterFlow in just an hour, right? And then what runs this application? How is it possible? If you come over here to this icon that says developer menu, you can click on something that says view code, connect GitHub, download code, download APK. So if you click on here, you can download the APK and use it in your phone. That's if at all you're using an Android device. But now let's click and look at the code that makes up the application. Now, in as much as it is a no-code tool, right, FlutterFlow does the writing of the codes for us. These are the codes that we would have written just to produce this particular screen. Imagine the number of codes. And this is for login screen, right? The number of codes that we would have written to actually write just this simple screen. But FlutterFlow does the writing for us. And the one that is called the bottom sheet, this is the codes that makes up the bottom sheet. Okay? So I believe that this already makes you like super excited to learn more about this technology, all right? And I want you to be like super excited to continue learning. So we're going to see in the next class and, get to learn more. Someone said my question has not been answered. Tambury, what was your question? Yeah, Christian, it's really wonderful. The technology is really beautiful. Yeah. So let's look at it. Someone asked a question. Tambury did ask a question, but I can't find where it is. Oh, okay. Did you say the created apps cannot run on Android? No, the applications can run on Android and run on iOS as well. Yeah, it can run anywhere. For real, it can run on the web, it can run on Android, it can run on iOS devices. Okay, so yeah, Mark, it's one of the best things that happened to me. For real. Yeah, no code development happens to be one of the best things that happened to me, and I believe it's going to be one of the best things that happened to you this year as well. I have been able to make a living out of this, for real. I work for clients on Upwork, and I have courses on Udemy. It's something that can actually change your life, something that can actually give you like a reasonable source of revenue and income for yourself. And it's something that will also give you a skill to build minimum viable products for your startup ideas. If I told you're someone like me, you always have ideas to build solutions to problems inherent in your environment, and you want to turn it into like a business. This is one of the best things to learn, right? Okay. Yeah, so exactly. I'm very happy to hear this response. Yeah, the idea for this particular introductory class was just for you to get excited about it and know that, okay, there's something really beautiful here that you can learn. So with these, you can learn how to build mobile applications, web applications without writing a single line of code. And you will do this with ease. Well, at some point, we will write codes. Yeah, just to warn you, right? So at some point, there's some things that are in FlutterFlow that are called custom functions. So we'll just write like a few custom functions just to keep things running. Okay. Christine said, I have tried coding. I think I just got home. This is home for real. All right. So do you have any other questions? Do you have any other questions? If you have questions, just let me know. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button to subscribe to this channel. Yeah, and like the video as well. It's very important to us that you like the video and share the link to our community, the Girls into Tech community. Share it with your friends, get more people to join so that they can learn all of these things for free. Okay? All right. Thank you very much, Favor. Thank you very much, Tamberi. Thank you very much for participating. Thank you very much to everyone who participated in training. We're gonna close in 1 minute. So if you have any other question, you can just like ask it now quickly. Yeah, Inyobong, thank you very much. Uh, yes, so Kemi's asking, are we going to be using FlutterFlow throughout the class? Yes, we're going to be using FlutterFlow mainly throughout the course of our class. Yeah, I'll be teaching mostly FlutterFlow, only FlutterFlow. All right, yeah, because this is one of the best technologies that I have come in contact with, and I'm also a FlutterFlow ambassador. Yeah, so thank you very much, Todd. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Alice. Alice, I know that you didn't get so much according to what you said earlier, but don't worry. Just rewatch the video and then you get it. You know, you get to know more about this. Can you work on it on my app, Bossman? Well, if you want to hire me to build an application for you, you can just go ahead and reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah. So my name is David Edet, David O'Rourke on LinkedIn. Yeah. So I will just drop a link here to my LinkedIn. And so if you want to hire me, you can just reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yep. Okay, so I just dropped a link to my LinkedIn. And so, yeah, you can send me a message on LinkedIn and then we can talk about your project. Okay, so Pixel, thank you very much. FlutterFlow does not have a downloadable application, right? So you have to go to flutterflow.io every single time you want to use FlutterFlow. Okay, so thank you very much, Peace. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, please subscribe to the channel, everyone. Thank you very much. Okay, so Majok is saying, I have a project I would like to work on. I have to learn a few things that I'm missing. Beautiful. So you'll be able to build any product that you want to build on, a build with FlutterFlow. Okay. Yeah, Aisha, thank you very much. Okay, so someone is saying the FlutterFlow link is not opening on my iOS. Okay, so there's something you need to do. Yeah, for some people that might have that issue, right? Let me share my screen one more. Yeah, because I know that that might be something that a lot of people might have as a problem. So if you try to go to flutterflow.io and it's not loading on your system, I believe you're using a browser. Of course, you can only access FlutterFlow with a browser. So you go to browser, you type it. I recommend you use Google Chrome. And then if it's not opening, like it's not opening like this, okay, you need to search for something called free VPN. Free VPN. It's a VPN, all right? So you search for it, and then you see it here. Then you click on a free VPN, and then you see a button that says add to Chrome. Like you see a button that says add to Chrome. So you add it to Chrome, okay? After you've added it to Chrome, you will come over here, you will see the free VPN, then you click on it, and then you will turn it on, all right? When you turn it on like this, it's a VPN. It's one of the simplest solutions to FlutterFlow not loading on some browsers that I have been able to get. So you just turn it on and then you try using FlutterFlow again. It will work. Okay. So that's just something I needed to share quickly. All right. Please try that again. Opeyemi, just try that again. Just what I just mentioned in your iOS device. Just try it and see. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, you can use FlutterFlow to build websites. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you can download the video, but I would prefer you stream it. It's not really expensive. You just stream it so you can watch it at high quality. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Rafael, you just have to rewatch the video. Okay. Good to have you here. Is this dashboard for Firebase? No. Firebase has a different dashboard from Firebase. Okay. Solihat, it's good to have you back. It's been long. Yeah, good to have you back. Okay. Someone is saying, how can I add FlutterFlow page tag? This is something complex, slightly complex, you can just reach out to me on LinkedIn and we'll talk about that. Yeah, so Tord, thank you very much. Someone said, is there a substitute application for FlutterFlow that can be used on Android? There's no substitute application that you can use from your Android device. Omordia, thank you very much. Bosman, thank you. You can just rewatch it. You can just rewatch it. You can just rewatch it here on YouTube. Okay, guys, we have spent way too much time. Thank you very much for joining, and don't forget to follow Girls into Tech on all the social media platforms, and tell people about Girls into Tech, and then get them to also be part of our training and then learn so that they can be better this year. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great time. Another class will be coming up very soon by another teacher. You're going to be learning something else entirely. So just make sure that you're part of the community on WhatsApp, and then the timetable, you will get to see the timetable, and then attend your classes. Take care, guys. See you tomorrow, same time.